everybody, we're back. At least for a little bit. Was actually able to escape from the job site. We had an issue during test and we need to get a new bushing, and that could take probably just about 3 weeks. So until that happens, other than probably a couple day trips here and there to visit the customer and explain what's going on, I should be able to be home for a little bit, I hope. So I'm going to try to get some stuff done here in the layout. I don't know how far I'll get, and I can't really tackle anything too huge, but maybe some minor things. So what I'm going to go over today is just a couple things. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Scale Trains SD40-2 and some sander line issues that people have noticed about that. I'm going to talk about also Scale Trains air slide hopper that I got. Just real briefly, a real minor issue with that. But overall, you know, the Scale Train stuff are really nice products. And I'm going to show you here, I got my J out. Okay, that sounds a little strange, but let's just say we got the J1A running here on the layout. And when Steve and I were running it last time, we noticed our track work may not be as good as we think. So we'll just show that briefly. Now it's going to take some remedial work. Need to get a track gang out. But I didn't uncover this until I got a larger, you know, this is probably the longest rigid wheelbase locomotive on the layout now. And it found some problems. So we'll show those real quick and then just do maybe a real brief summary of what I may be able to get done and get on and get some work done. So let me get this guy where the issues are and I'll show you. All right, one of the other things I had read when I was away on the job concerning the new Scale Trains SD40-2 was that people were complaining about the sand lines. They heard clicking and they were interfering and, you know, oh my God, the sky's falling, the world's going to end because my toy train has an issue. So I said, well, all right, I'll wait till I get home and I'll take a look at it. And yeah, I think they're right. Now, to me, this kind of stuff doesn't really bother me. Yeah, I know we paid a lot of money for a brand new locomotive, but I look at it more like I just appreciate that there's manufacturers out there that are actually making this stuff for us, and I'll overlook things like this. And I don't know if I'll be able to show it because I don't have a great studio, and you might be able to see this. Other channels on the internet that might have shown this, but on my particular locomotive, this rear truck, and I don't know if I can show it anymore, but the sand line did indeed kind of pop out. It's outside the truck frame. So obviously, unless I want to sand the ties, that's not doing the locomotive much good. And I can see the other ones, and again, you probably won't be able to see, and unless I got a flashlight, but this one looks like it's inside. And I do hear some clicking. There's one in there and one in the front, and I'll try to run it. I got to be careful because I noticed that Steve-O was running some trains, so I got to be careful what I run into. But maybe I'll try to run it and see if I can capture the click, just for those that may be interested. Again, I'm not really worried about it. Worst case, I'll just cut them off, because again, it's one of those things that you don't see a whole lot, and I'm kind of more interested in a well-detailed, you know, within limits and well-running locomotive. And I have the sound off. Yeah, let me wait till it gets around to some other curves and then we'll try it. So let me pause and we'll come back in a moment. Alright, so I'll try it here. A little bit more light. And I'm going to shut up and see if we can hear something. It's really faint. It does a little click sound. Here, we're coming to the curve here and hear that? That. Right there. I know the light isn't perfect. Just zoom over here quickly. Woo! But don't make you seasick. Let's see what happens here. Hear that little click, click, click? That was it. So I guess that, you know, that's probably what it is. Now, I said I'm not overly sensitive. I'm gonna certainly keep the locomotive and probably take it into the shop and see what may be able to do. Because other than that, you know, if you heard it there, I had the sound off. It's a really nice running locomotive. I mean, wow, it's really impressed. But I guess those sand lines, and I just don't have the right light. So I guess what the other folks are saying is indeed true. There does seem to be, you know, some clicking sounds coming from, I guess, interference from the sanders. And again, if I can zoom in here, maybe I get a flashlight and see if I can show that to you. All right, how's this for a makeshift? One handhold camera, one handhold flashlight. I can't believe you guys watch these videos. I don't know what's going to show any better, but you can see that sander definitely did pop out on the outside of the truck. And that one there looks okay. But again, I guess when it goes around the curves, that one I can't tell where it is. It might have broke, I don't know. And the front one there seems to be in there, but I'll have to go get a closer look. So anyway, yeah, I guess, oops, sorry about that. I just hit the wrong button. So I guess it is indeed, you know, there are definitely some things to look at on the sanders on this. I'm sure Scaled Trains knows about it. And maybe they'll try to do something on the next run, which I also have one of the CSX YN3 SpongeBob square cabs, which I don't know why they call it that, but anyway, but I do have one of those on order. So we'll see. But just want to show that yep, it does make a clicking noise. But again, you know, we modelers love to complain, but then we want details. It's got to be detailed. It's not detailed enough. Blah. And then we bitch when we get something that has a slight issue. So anyway, so that's that. Scaled Trains SD40-2 with the sander issue. Looks like it certainly is. Just FYI for those who may be considering purchase this. And if anyone does have it, and I'd like to kind of see in the comments what you did. Again, if it was me, and that's a kind of a hard thing to see, somewhat. I guess you could just cut them off. But all right, more to come. Again, I'm not too torqued up about it. It is definitely an issue, and we'll address it. All right, so here's the Scaled Trains air slide cover hopper. It's a very nice kit, one of their rivet counter. I just got it. It came in as I was on the way home from the job. This is the, let me adjust this so you can read that there. GATC 4566 air slide covered hopper for ADM Milling Company. Very nice car. It really is. The one thing I noticed, let me just swing back over here and, oh boy, adjust the f-stop. I was going to put, maybe swap the couplers out and put some detectable wheel sets on it, but here in the corner I noticed that one of the grab irons has gone missing. So before I touch anything, I'm just going to shoot a note to Scaled Trains, maybe, you know, include a picture and just see what they want to do. I'm fine. They just, I mean, I probably could put a grab iron in myself, but, you know, since I paid for it, I'm just going to ask them what they might do. So we'll see. But other than that, beautiful car, really nice car. It does include a fairly nice instruction sheet, and what I really like about it, for us older, more visually challenged, it's got a real nice parts diagram on the sheet. Very well done. You don't see that nowadays a lot with some of the kits. So got this. I was going to get it on the layout, but I'm just going to wait. I don't know that they're going to want the whole car back. I kind of hope they don't. You know, just send me that little grab iron and I'll put it in. All right, so with that, we'll go back and see what else is going on. All right, so here's the issue. And of course, the issue is not doing what it was doing before, but basically what was happening was Steve was out running this train here with the J1, and came along fine. It came along. We're doing good. We're running along. We're having a nice time. Woohoo! Steam locomotives running. Yay, yay, yay. I know it's dark here. I got to fix that. But then, turns out right here on this frog, it was stopping. At first, I thought it was dirty track, so I cleaned the track, and that wasn't it. What turns out what it was, and now for some reason I can't duplicate it, which is aggravating as heck. But I know where the issue is. If you look right here, and I'll try to get some light on this, you can see right there, I cut a gap on both tracks, and it looks kind of ugly. But they weren't there originally. That was all laid. It was all nice and pretty, and these two gaps were cut when we finalized that we were going to put the road crossing in. So that's where it activates the gates. So I had to kind of cut the block into a sub block. And what was happening, at least last time, and only at a certain speed, Steve went through this and did a pretty nice job to analyze this. What had happened was, I only with this locomotive, and I'll just kind of run him, oh, he's going backwards. Because I was trying to duplicate it this morning, and now I can't. But it definitely was doing it because we watched it. So I'm going to run him at this speed. And what was happening was the first driver, when it came to that location, it must have been just enough. It was coming off the track. Now, at this lower speed, see, it all stays on, and it's no problem. It doesn't do it. And Steve had determined that you have to be over on our throttle. This is a CVP T5000 throttle. You had to be over the speed of 18 in order for it to do it. Okay, so let me back this guy out of the way. Get out of the way, you. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is try to come in here and fix those areas there at some point. Now again, we don't often, run steam, like I said, and this is the largest, rigid wheelbase locomotive that we have. So we probably never noticed it before, but that one and that one there, I definitely want to do something too. I don't know if I'll replace it with a piece of track and then try to, make the gap a little bit nicer, or use an insulated joiner or something like that, just to try to keep it from moving. Now these are soldered. There's some PCB board ties there, so it is soldered on both sides. And of course now it's not doing it. And there was one other area that Steve found. It would come across here, and that's why it hit, because that front driver came off, and it would ride up on the frog. So that was that issue. And there's another issue here where the spoon is. The spoon marks the spot. Again, on this track, now there's no gaps here. You can see how freaking dark it is here, but it would come off, same thing, the front driver came off here, and then as it came around, it would correct itself over here. And then all the other curves didn't really seem to be an issue. It wasn't a problem on this curve. It wasn't a problem on, the big curve there at the end. It didn't do it on this curve here, and it didn't do it on the peninsula curve. So it was just that area, these spots, the spoon spot, and where I cut the gaps on the curve for the crossing. And I realized it's not a good spot. Maybe I could move them back to here a little bit, or just utilize this gap. I don't know. But, and again, it was only with that locomotive. None of the other ones did it. In fact, Steve then ran our other 5-axle locomotive, which is the I-1SA 210 decapod, but it's a shorter wheelbase, and it wasn't a problem. So it was only the J above an 18th speed on the throttle where it was a problem. So, one thing I guess we can do, let me just shut him down. Railroads do have speed restrictions for certain reasons, so I guess we could put a speed restriction on this curve for that locomotive until I fix that. I want to fix it because I don't like it. It bothers me. So, all right, so that was that, and let's move on to what we may hope to get done this little break I have from the job. All right, so got a little bit of a break. What do I want to get done? And I got to, again, pick things that I can get. I don't want to start too large a project, get halfway through it, and have to leave. I might have at best maybe 2.5 weeks, maybe 3. Depends when this bushing comes back. All right, anyway, so what I would like to do is, again, I want to get this area here in Lake City done, be able to get the front board on, the fascia up, and start working on the front part. But in order to do that, I'd like to start scratch belting that, maybe work on this kit bash structure here. I noticed this one crossing gate is hanging a little bit low, so maybe I can fiddle with that and get some work done. Maybe determine what I want to do here, if I want to use this kit, which I like, as a structure here at this end. And then I'd like to work on some scenery all over, which is just nice and relaxing, and that's something you can do for a couple hours as time allows. I'd like to get maybe back along here. Even in here, need some more work. Maybe start working here. Anyway, there's a lot of things that I could maybe just pick at that aren't super complicated projects. Obviously, working on the kits and the scratch build, you can kind of start and stop. Not a major deal. And that's probably about what I'll try to get done. I don't think I'm going to work on anything major beyond that, although there are some big things I want to do. But so we'll see. That's what I'll try to get done. In fact, just FYI, this scene here with the Pennsy J1 coming by the station in Lake City, that actually could have happened. The Pennsy had trackage rights on the New York Central from Girard Junction into Erie. And now I don't know, I haven't got photographic proof that they ran J's, but they did run, I know they did run the hippos and shark noses, so you can guess what's on my list. I'd love to get an ABA set of Pennsy sharks. I think that would look pretty cool. Anyway, so this is not too beyond the realm of possibility. Back in the 50s and earlier, of course, and I think up into the 70s maybe, that the Pennsy did run by on the New York Central in through Lake City, which is what this is a model of, sort of. So anyway, just a note that see, I'm being very, very accurate in the steam locomotives that I pick. No, not really. I just like the J, so I bought it, but it does fit. So all right, so that's that. I'm gonna see what we get done. I'll give a little teaser. I did find a product that I ordered that I think is really cool. It's a minor thing. It's a detail type part, but I'm really excited to get it. So that's a little bit of teaser for the next video. Hopefully I'll get that in before too long. Be able to do some work with it, and I'll show you that next time. All right, so gonna pause here, get this up. So like I said, we're back. Have maybe a 2.5 week time period here where I can try to get some stuff done. Might even break my rule. I don't usually like to work downstairs in the summer, but it's been so hot and humid. It's just, you walk outside, you just start sweating, and I don't like that. So I'll just stay in the basement where the air conditioning is and work on the layout. So, all right, more to come. We'll see what we can do over this little bit of a break and post our progress later on.